we go again, on a mission to be our absolute best. Today we're going to do a video on tricep exercises. We're going to cover about 4 different exercises that work your tricep. So during this, we'll go over what the action is of the tricep muscle. The tricep is the back of the upper arm. It takes up the majority of the arm when it comes to the size. People tend to focus on the bicep. The bicep is a pretty large muscle, but the tricep, when developed, some say it's about 3/4 of the girth of this portion of the arm. So we're going to look at about 4 different exercises, what they do, and the action of the tricep, and how it engages during those exercises. The tricep is an extensor muscle. In the last video, we covered the bicep. The bicep is a flexor. It brings things towards the body. The tricep is an extensor. It takes things away from the body. Your tricep is responsible for the extension of your arm outwards at the articulation of your elbow joint. So when you are reaching outwards, it is your tricep muscle that is flexing or shortening. A contraction, a flexion, a shortening of a muscle is all the same thing. When the tricep is reaching out with your elbows at your side, it is all the tricep muscle, okay? So we're going to cover exercises that are extensor exercises, that extend my arm, whether your extension is forward, or your extension is upward, or it's the opening up of this angle is how you extend. So if your arm is over your head and your arm is back, to open up this angle, this articulation here at the elbow joint, to extend it is triceps. Now, when doing the triceps, depending on your technique, you can involve other muscles that help it along, especially when you're extending your arms over your head. I am opening up the angle of my elbow joint and extending my arm, which would be tricep. But my shoulder here is engaged as well. If the angle that right here, where my humerus hits my torso here, that is moving up and down as well. So that recruits other muscles, my deltoid, my serratus anterior, if I'm rotating it forward, my trapezius. So there are a lot of muscles around this tricep that come into play when you're trying to exercise your tricep. That's why it's important to know its action, what the tricep does. It's called its action. What is it responsible for doing? It's an extensor. It extends your arms out. When is it mostly all the tricep? When your elbow is at your side as much as it can be, whether it's here, extending up, or here. So a few of the exercises that engage your tricep are, one of them is called tricep kickbacks. I'm going to grab a weight here. I'm going to take a 12. And how to work your triceps, there are a few different ways. And this exercise, where you put whatever arm you're using, you hold that weight, you come to a bench. You don't even have to come to a bench. You can come to the floor and use your own knee, okay? I'm going to use the bench because we all might be able to get a hold of one. So the weight's in my right arm, so my left hand and left knee are on the bench. I'm facing forward. I bring my arm up so that my humerus, this bone, is parallel to the ground. You're going to have to look and check it out and see for yourself. Oh, is that up? Okay. Now, you're going to extend your arm backwards. And if you see, my tricep is shortening here. Okay? So your elbow's up as high as you go, and tricep kickbacks. With one arm, tricep kickbacks is a good way to isolate your triceps and to get that good horseshoe built up in your tricep muscle. If you're just starting out, you want high reps, 15 to 20 reps. Work your way up. The first day you ever do something, just do a set of it, see how you feel. A couple days later, come back to the gym and start doing 3 sets of the exercise for 15 to 20 reps, whatever you feel, okay? Each side, boom, you get one side, all you do is spin around. Go to the other side, bring it up, check to see if that arm's parallel to the ground, and kick it back 15 times. Do this. 3 sets of 15, 3 sets of 20. Either amount of repetition is fine for lean and mean. For 3 sets for the intro for people who are just starting out. Okay, so that's the tricep kickback. Now, that is an exercise that you're just going to do unilaterally, one arm at a time. Here's another exercise you can do one arm at a time, or you could double and do two. I grew up and I started out doing this exercise one arm at a time. I place my one foot forward, my other foot perpendicular to it, so I create an L stance. Now, the foot that's forward is the foot or side that I'm going to hold the weight in. I take my hand, I put it here. I like to put it on my chest or right here. I have a little bit of bend in my knees. I'm going to take my arm and put it straight up in the air. So this bone, my humerus, is straight up in the air. I'm going to bring my arm straight back. My bicep is in my eye. It stays in my eye the whole time. And I'm going to extend forward. Here, here. It's a little awkward. It's a little crammed. But this extension is purely bicep now. I'm off to the side. Now, I choose that with my L stance. You could turn that foot a little bit. It's okay. But it helps me really to turn to the side. When I'm looking in a mirror, I can see, hey, is my bicep in my eye, or is it drifting out? If it's drifting out, that means this bone is moving. And we're not moving at this joint, the elbow joint, we're moving at the shoulder joint. So that articulation is my deltoid and my traps and my serratus anterior. So I don't want that. I want this bicep to be poking me in the eye. And I'm coming back and forth, getting my 15 reps in, okay? And then at the end of your 15 reps, you're really going to start to feel that burn. You might start to feel your elbow drift forward as you get more fatigued. Keep it back. Try and keep it vertical. The more flexibility you have, the easier that exercise is. If someone has less range of motion in their shoulders, like I do, it's a little bit harder to keep this bone all the way up and down. Then you just switch sides and do it on the other side. So that's two. So we had the tricep kickback. Then we had the triceps over the head. You may also take two of the dumbbells and do it. And you want to basically squeeze your head with your biceps. You're bringing your biceps up here and you're squeezing in. Boom, and back. With one arm at a time, I enjoy doing it that way to really concentrate on the muscles and focus on the muscles. You could also do it two hands at a time, increase the weight. You could double this weight size basically. If you were doing, all right, that was 12 pounds. If you're doing 12 pounds one arm, you can take a 20 pounder, put it like this. Put your hands like this around it. Bring it back, keeping your elbows in and coming up. Full extension, back as far as you can go. Basically, I say scratching your back with the other head of the dumbbell and straight up. You can take it like this. This will also keep your elbows in because the weight dumbbells are only so wide. If you're using a tremendously large weight, it's hard to hold it this way. Some of my octagonal weights are hard to hold that way, but you're not. You're going to be using a modest amount of weight, and you can do it like that. Okay, so the tricep extensions over the head. You can do it with one dumbbell independently, one dumbbell doubling the weight, or two dumbbells at the same time. So a variety of different ways. And if you're trying to get extra sets in, it's the same exercise, but a little bit different style. Do it with two, then do it with one, even though it's the same motion. But hey, the more work, the better. Now, so we did the kickbacks, we did the triceps behind the head. Now, since they're extensors, I'm just going to keep this weight for ease sake. And I said they extend your arm. When this bone, your humerus, is tight to the core, if you're extending your arms, it's triceps. So another way to get your triceps. Here, holding the weight, or they could be two independent dumbbells. Keeping these bones, your radius and ulna, parallel to one another as you come from here. You set your stance a little bit, don't arch. Get a little bit of bend in your knees to help with strength and pushing yourself to the floor. Come from your collarbone or your clavicle straight up and extend till you lock, like field goal. Straight up, watch those bones so they stay in parallel, boom. If you have a little bit of range in your motion like I do on my one shoulder, it's kind of hard, but it's a great tricep exercise as well. You can do it here with one heavier dumbbell, or take two independent dumbbells and do it like that. So that's 3 exercises technically. So we have tricep kickbacks, triceps behind the head, triceps in front, there's 3, and then behind the head we can do it multiple different ways. In front we can do it independently or with 1 dumbbell, that's another one. So you have 3 behind the head, kickbacks 4, 5, 6 doing it this way. So that's almost 6 different exercises just for the tricep. Then, if they're extensor muscles, well, push-ups is an exercise that requires you to extend your arms. Now, push-up is typically done with your thumbs a little bit wider than your chest. So when you come down, your elbows are almost at a 90-degree angle. Your elbows and hands are at your chest level, approximately, when you're on the floor, and you're extending your arms forward. That is triceps. But what's also happening, my elbow is away from my body. It's at the furthest point away from my body, and as I extend, it comes closer. We call that medial. Towards the body is medial. So when you extend and this humerus bone, that bone comes inward from an outward position, that's a contraction of your chest, your pectoralis, your pec major, your pec minor, your 2 chest muscles, making that one mass. Now, when you extend, you're doing triceps and chest if you're doing a push-up or bench press. Bench is chest and tris. So the larger muscle is the chest, and it's mainly for chest. And the wider you go, the less triceps it is, and the more bench, or the more chest it is. So for triceps, how are we going to get just triceps? By doing push-ups or bench press. We're going to talk about bench push-ups. We're going to keep our arms so our elbows are at our side, and if our elbows don't come in and out, they don't involve the pectoralis or chest muscle. If our arms just extend, our action muscle, the main muscle, is our tricep. As we said in the last video, there are helper muscles, there are stabilizer muscles. Those are muscles that assist in the lift and muscles that stabilize the joint around the lift while it's taking place. We're just dealing with the action muscle, the muscle that does its main function is this action of extension. So if I do push-ups like this with my hands right under my chest, or some people call them diamond push-ups, and they can put their hands here, that's harder on your wrists. If you're a little bit older and you're doing those push-ups with the diamond style, your wrist is slightly torqued in. You can get just as much function out of that push-up if your wrists are straight under your chest and you keep your elbows to your side. So I'll demonstrate by putting my hands directly under my chest, a little bit narrower than my shoulders. Okay? And I'm coming here, and I let my elbows not go outward, because then my chest would be involved. I let my elbows fall back to my side, so when I hit the floor, my hands are here, and this bone is against my side. I scrape my side as I go down. So I come backwards with my elbows, and I keep my waistline off the ground. Both elbows are touching, and push. And that is pure triceps right here. Push. One more here. Push. And I'm just pushing forward. If I'm in this position, you can mess this up. You can go down and let your elbows come out. And it seems easy, and that's probably what most of you are going to naturally do. The human body wants to take the path of least resistance when it comes to lifting objects. It knows through evolution, hey, let's do this with all of our helpers and not just one person or one muscle group. So we will tend to gravitate towards a position that gets more muscles in it. But when we're lifting to define our muscles and to get stronger one muscle group at a time, we have to think and conscientiously choose not to use those helper muscles and keep those elbows at your side as opposed to coming out. Because then it's your elbows out, so your chest is going to contract. So it's going to assist in that lift. So keep your hands tight. All right, so those triceps, close grip or diamond, are going to be a tricep exercise also. Same thing as if you were bench pressing. If you're bench pressing, you bring the bar in close and you push the bench from here as opposed to holding it out here. This is purely a tricep exercise too. Again, don't allow, as you come down with the bar, your elbows to go out, even though your hands are in. Keep your elbows behind your fists and hands. And then it's triceps. So we have the tricep kickbacks. 1, We had the tricep overhead extensions, that's 2. We had the tricep extensions in front of the body, that's 3. We had the triceps using a push-up, that's 4. And in front extensions, there was 2 different ways with singles and double dumbbells. Behind the head, there were singles, there were double dumbbells, and then there were single large dumbbells, so there's 3 exercises there. So we have 3 back there, tricep extension 4, in front 5, or independently 6, and then the push-up 7. So that's 7 tricep exercises. Real quick, these are extensor muscles. Work on them as you extend. You can see it shortens, it comes up on both sides, and that's your tricep around here. Now, there are other tricep exercises. Also, there are machines that do it, but this is the basics just to get you going, and you already have 7 exercises you can do. It's going to shred them. If you did 3 exercises on each one of those, or 3 sets on each one of those exercises, there's 21 sets of triceps. You need go no further. You're good. All right, great. If you have any questions, comments, feedback, please leave a comment. Let me know. And I'll see you next time. We'll do delts next time.